Huh? Is it a T-Rex? Huh? Is it a chrysalis? Huh? Is it Godzilla? Pikachu, run!
Hola amigos, it's Will here from Will's Custom Figures, coming at you today with a big bad breakdown of none other than Larvitar Pupitar and the one and only TYRANITAR. So please guys, sit back and relax while I took you through how and why I made this awesome evolutionary set of 3 Pokemon and all the details in between. And here we go. Let's have a quick deep dive into TYRANITAR first and foremost. Now, TYRANITAR was inspired by the Kaiju, aka Godzilla, from Japanese lore and mythology. He's a rock, ground, and dark type Pokemon. His debut was in Pokemon Gold and Silver back in 1999, and he's a pseudo-legendary. That means he's got nearly legendary stats when you're playing the game. As you can see by the absolutely awesome looking and great design of Larvitar, it's based off a baby dinosaur, a cocoon, and of course, an absolute powerhouse Pokemon in the form of TYRANITAR. This is one of the absolute all-time favourite Pokemon I've ever had the pleasure of working on. And as you can see, he's got some scuffs, there's some little imperfections, dents and cracks and so forth. I made this over 3 years ago, and I'm so happy that it's been able to move house with me multiple times and is still in pretty good shape. Now, if we're talking badass Pokemon, Larvitar is absolutely up there. As you can tell, it's a baby dinosaur. From its sleek design, it sort of takes on a bit of the persona of a T-Rex and also, as I mentioned earlier, a Kaiju, aka Godzilla. Now, this thing is so cute. I think that it is so cute and the design is so badass, it rivals those of the starter Pokemon of any of the games. You know, I kind of get sick of the start Pokemon always being grass and fire and water. And, you know, this is an absolutely brilliant design and definitely a larger-than-life character. You could pick this up in a history textbook and see it was a dinosaur from back in the prehistoric or Cretaceous period. Really cool, very slick design. Now, let's compare it to some of the other starter Pokemon to see how it shapes up. And here we go, and a little bit of a size comparison next to my previously featured on this channel, Bulbasaur, the first Pokemon sculpture that I ever made, and of course the one and only Charmander. Really like it. Scale-wise, I got a lot better at sculpting when I created Larvitar. He's a better size proportion than some of the other Pokemon I've worked on in the past, very similar to the other starter Pokemon, as you can see here. But nevertheless, with Larvitar, he's a rock ground Pokemon, Pokemon number 246, I believe. So cute. He can actually eat a mountain before he evolves into Pupitar. That is the history and the lore behind it. And very cool. I absolutely love reading and researching and learning about all of these guys. And here we go with Pupitar, guys. Man, I really like this Pokemon. It's definitely not my favourite of the set. It's my least favourite out of the set of 3. However, in my opinion, number 247 is encased in a shell, and from what I understand, he can even hover and move around by blasting air out of the vents in its body. So yeah, really enjoyed working on this. Again, this one was made using a completely foil inner. So yeah, quite simple. I would probably like to make him a little bit smaller, but then, you know what? Larvitar, if we have a quick look at it, is very small. And then it has to turn into TYRANITAR. So, you know, a slightly bigger Pupitar. I'm not sure whether or not it is comic accurate in size, but nevertheless, I really like it. Here's a little comparison next to the absolutely beautiful Eevee. If you've not seen me do a full review on Eevee, then please check it out. It was one of my all-time favourite Pokemon I've ever worked on. And here is Jolteon, so you can have another little look at another Pokemon I've recently featured on this channel. As you can see, it's pretty large, it's pretty in charge, looks quite intimidating. I'm going to move the camera angle so you can see from a few different angles. And here we go, guys, another little size comparison next to Charmeleon and Wartortle. Man, do you know what? Looking at him next to these secondary evolutions, he's not too big. He's probably not too small. It's kind of just the right size for me. If I was to sculpt it again, I would probably do the spikes and these little details here a little bit thinner. This was probably about 4 years old, this Pokemon, so my sculpting skills weren't quite as good. You can see it's quite chunky, these spikes. But nevertheless, They've lasted. I've moved house 2 times since creating this guy, and I'm super, super happy with how it looks. And here we go, guys, the start of the show. Pokemon number 248 in the Pokedex. Man, he is an absolute destructive force. He rivals all the legendaries, whether or not it's your Charizard, your Mewtwo, your Rayquaza, or any of these other absolutely brilliant Pokemon. Tyranitar is an absolute beast and one of the all-time greats in my opinion. He's a personal favourite and really stands out. Stands the test of time. Such a cool design. You can see just the sheer size. I'm struggling actually to fit him on camera. Wow, look at that.
Venasaur is made very similar to a lot of the other Pokemon I've worked on in this set. Lots of aluminium foil in the centre, armature wire, and of course, an absolute shed load of Super Sculpey clay.
These awesome looking spikes that come out of his back. He was always a personal favourite of mine. Now, why did I make him? Well, he is one of the all-time greats, and for me, he absolutely personifies what Pokemon is. As you can see, he's a chunky guy. Look at the size of him in comparison to my hand. An absolute beast. Just bringing in a couple of other Pokemon so you can get a little bit of a size comparison to see how he looks from this video. Here he is next to Ivysaur that I recently made. Is a little bit of a size comparison next to the one and only Pikachu. Let me drop him in front so we can really see as this turntable moves round the difference in size. Look at that. Absolutely incredible. Towers over Pikachu, looking very, very intimidating. And of course, we wouldn't be able to do a Pokemon review without popping in good old Ash Ketchum. Let's just pop him on the side here so you can see how big Ash is in comparison. Let's get into the comparison you're looking forward to seeing the most with Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. And here we go, guys. My inner child is absolutely geeking out here. Here is none other than Larvitar next to Blastoise, 2 of my all-time favourites. And however you position these guys, they look absolutely incredible together. I'm so pleased with how they've turned out. The level of detail, comic and anime accuracy, the accuracy of the games. I'm super happy. Man, who's got the most impressive rear? Don't do that in the wrong way. Who has the most impressive back? Is it the spikes of Tyranitar or is it the shell and the cannons of Blastoise? Let me know in the comment section below. And here's the next face-off and showdown. Is none other than Venusaur. Man, who would win this battle? I really don't know. Venusaur is my all-time favourite start Pokemon. The all-time classic for me. So I'm thinking Venusaur's probably got it. But yet again, the decorative nature, all of the details that have went into this, tried to leave no stone unturned in catching the absolute beauty and magnificence of these 2 Pokemon. I really hope you like it. I certainly couldn't be any happier. Using the beautiful Vallejo paints that you know I love to use on this channel, specifically this lime green by Vallejo to capture Tyranitar here. There is a full review of Venusaur. If you're interested in seeing that, have a look in the playlist. And here it is, the only other Pokemon that could challenge in size and significance. Of course, his fellow dragon, Charizard. Charizard actually towering above Larvitar here. Move the camera around so you can see in a little bit more detail how these compare next to each other. Absolutely incredible. Charizard, one of my all-time favourites. But yet again, we're talking about, you know, the details, the significance, the legacy, the character of Tyranitar. And as you can see, definitely holds up next to Charizard, who is one of the most legendary, well-known, most well-received Pokemon of all time. Absolute GOAT status Charizard has. You know, who would win in a battle? Those awesome wings versus these awesome spikes. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below. And here we go, guys, bringing this video to a close. My rating and final reflections. Well, I love using Super Sculpey clay. It's one of my favourite things to do. And getting such iconic characters like these 3 in my collection has been an absolute must. Whether or not you're displaying them with a lovely little Diglett, you've got some of the more obscure characters. Here is A lovely little picture next to Doduo. Love that. Whether it's your all-time classics like Bulbasaur, Ash, Pikachu, or any of the other Pokemon, this is an absolute must-have in your collection. I've loved being able to bring my childhood favourites to life, and I really, really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Probably give this set around about an 8 out of 10. I feel like the fact of the small imperfections do take away a little bit from the expertise, but nevertheless, I'm very happy with how they look against their other contemporary Pokemon. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comment section below who you want to see next in this full evolutionary cycle of Caterpie, Metapod, and Butterfree. I've also got Turtwig and Torterra coming very, very soon. Follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, follow me here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.